Hello and welcome back to Storytime at 9. Good to see your excitement, Manasi Panda. Very good to see that. And happy to see Ayush, you commenting that the show will start sharp at 9 p.m. Indian time every Saturday. For those of you who are joining in for the first time, every Saturday at 9 p.m. we are live on the Buckle Foundation social media channels on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, wherever you're seeing it right now, in which we travel to different countries with one of the finest storytellers from that country who tells us stories from that country and also tells us about the country and its culture. And so far, we've already traveled to 42 countries in about 52 sessions. So those of you who've missed some of the sessions, who have missed traveling to some of the countries, you can go back to the YouTube channel of Bakul and go to the playlist of Storytime at 9, and you can see all the earlier sessions there. You can see them on Facebook also, but on YouTube, it is a very easy to navigate library, right? So I hope all of you are enjoying, and please remember that there's a feedback form in the description of the video on YouTube or Facebook, wherever you're seeing it, and please give your feedback there, because see, you can see me, you can see the storytellers, but we can't see you. So it is through your feedback that we get to know what you like, what you would like to see, etc. Right? So please participate, and it would be lovely to communicate with you. Right. So today we are traveling to the land of the rising sun. That was something that I had learned when I was your age, right? I'm sure you must be familiar with that as well. To the lovely country of Japan. And we have a wonderful storyteller with us today, Masako Carey. Now, Masako was born in Tokyo. She trained as a kindergarten teacher, interpreter, and a cultural trainer. And then, of course, she met her husband who was Irish born, and then she moved to Northern Ireland about more than 20 years back. But then she loves reading and she loves watching Japanese anime. I'm sure many of you do that, right? She loves watching Japanese anime stories on television as a child, and this combination of the influence of Japanese animation and kindergarten teaching, it gives her a very unique and expressive telling style, which you're going to see today. And she has a wonderful repertoire of traditional Japanese tales, both serious and comic. And you are going to listen to her today. So welcome, Masako, to the show. And children, I'm sure you're going to have a great time. But once again, before I hand it over to Masako, let me just remind you, please do not forget to share the video so that all your friends enjoy the story that you enjoyed. And do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel or to like the Facebook page if that is where you are seeing it, right? So, Masako, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you very much, Sujit, and thank you for having me, everybody. So, as introduced, my name is Masako Carey, and I'm so happy to be here to share my favorite country, Japan, with you. And so, I got a bit of a computer problem, so bear with me if there's a bit of a rift, but we'll go through basic information about Japan first, and I will be telling you 3 Japanese stories in between. So hope you like it. So first, well, this is map of Japan, and I wonder if you can see the arrow here. I live here now, and you are here in India, and I live in Japan. Some people here thinks Japan is part of China. Well, I think you all know that it is not. It's very different. China, Japan, Korea speaks different languages. Our culture is different. And the way we dress, the traditional clothes is different. And the way people are is quite different. So it's a very different countries. And next, This is map of Japan. Japan have 47 prefectures and have 8 regions. Now, I have a question for you. Oops. Question. How many islands are there in Japan? 1. Over 1,000? 2. Over 3,000? Or 3. Over 6,000? Now, how many do you think? I will give you 5 seconds. Go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ding, ding, ding. The answer is over 6,000. There are 6,852 islands. That's making Japan. But the main part is the northeast part, Hokkaido and mainland, Shikoku and Kyushu, 4 of them, and then many, many small islands. Now, the size wise, Japan is about 1/8 of India. And see, if you look close to the map, there's a gray part and green part. Those are the parts that are mountains and forests. So those areas are like 73% of the whole nation. And you cannot live there really, or cannot have farming, or even cannot have factories. So people have to live in white area, which are not very much. And that's the reason why we tend to live so close to each other in a mass number of people. Now, we do have 4 seasons. However, let's see. It depends on the area where you are, because as you have seen that it's long country. So up north is close to Russia, to get cold, and down south is close to Taiwan. It's semi-tropical. But here, this is springtime. Cherry blossom comes out, just flowers, no leaves, and against the blue sky, it's beautiful. Or even the night light, it's absolutely beautiful. Japanese people love having parties underneath the cherry blossoms in spring. Summertime is beautiful, but it's getting hotter and hotter every year. And now it's normal to go over 30 degrees, and then sometimes it goes over 35. I know India can be very hot, but Japan, the humidity is quite high as well, and it is not very comfortable time to visit. But that's the only time I can visit because my children are in school, so we always suffer. And then autumn time is another good time. It's not too hot. And as I mentioned, there are many, many trees. And there are many trees that change colors of leaves. And mountain looks absolutely beautiful with the autumn colors. And food at this time of the year is quite tasty. So spring and autumn, highly recommended. Now, wintertime is fun too. You can do snowboarding or skiing up north, but it can get quite cold. Let's see. So north and south, as I mentioned, this is actually not the northest part of Japan. It's a bit lower. Whatever way the land is, they get massive amount of snow, as you can see. And they have to have a door upstairs, or else they won't be able to get out in the middle of the winter. And down south, like I said, is like a semi-tropical island. It would not go under 15 degrees. Now, the coldest that has been recorded in Japan is minus 41 degrees up very north. And the hottest recorded is 41 degrees. That was from the center of Japan. So there's a big difference, depends on where you are. And I am from Tokyo, which is sort of a middle. I forgot to mention it to you, sorry. Population. So we have about 126 million people living in Japan. Now, I know India is quite crowded as well, but so is Japan, because our land is not very large, as well as the land where you can live is not very large. So see here, this picture is a picture of Tokyo and Yokohama metropolitan. It's a city, two cities combined. And in this area lives 33 million people. And that is actually the largest metropolitan in the world. So this is taken from the helicopter, but as far as you can see, it's all light, all buildings. It is quite spectacular, I have to say. But in Japan, we also have old buildings as well. The oldest wooden building ever recorded, which was made about 560 CE, exists in Japan. This is, we got Horyuji here and the Japanese castle, and this is Kiyomiz Temple. These are all made out of wood. They have stood the earthquake and all the wear and tear. They're still standing strong and beautiful. But we also have a new type. This is Tokyo Tower, and they have Skytree, which is higher than Tokyo Tower, but still I like Tokyo Tower. And down here we got Yokohama City, which is really pretty city. And here, like if you visit Japan, you will notice there are many, many temples and shrines. In particular, shrines, there are mini shrines like this. And actually, people have mini shrines and mini temples at home as well. But see, these ones could be, small ones could be on the road. And if you count them, literally, it's coming down with the temples and shrines. And some shrine worship nature god, like mountains or river or strange looking rocks. And some worship animals, like Momon. What do you think? And that animal is? That is actually woof woof in English. It's a dog, and also snake. And over here at the top, middle top, we have it, even a dragon, Ryujin-sama. Now, my first story is related to this Ryujin-sama. So, Sujit, if you want to make me bigger or whatever as it is, I don't mind. So I'll keep on going here. So, a Japanese folktale story always start with the word Mugashi Mukashi. That means long, long time ago. So, Mugashi Mukashi, long time ago, there was an old man. He lived up in the mountain by himself. His job was to cut wood and sell it to the villagers. So he would put them all back on his back and then would set off in the morning. You have to watch his footstep because there are some rocks and roots coming out and it's quite steep. And then he had to go through narrow bridge like the picture. He had to hold on to the sides really tight because every step he took, it went wee, wee, oh, takai, takai, very high. And then he had to walk some more. So to the village was quite far away. Makiwairan ka ne? Anyone want wood? Makiwairan ka ne? For some reason, old man could not sell any wood at all. So by the end of the day, he had to carry everything back home. So by the time he got to the bridge, he was exhausted and needed to take a break and sat down. And beside him was a mini shrine of Ryujin-sama, the dragon god. And he thought, well, maybe I'll give my wood to Ryujin-sama. At least somebody's getting something good. So the old man, he went to the middle of the bridge and he dropped all the wood. Now his back was light, but also his heart felt light because he felt like he did something good. And then he was just going to go and then realized water started to swirl and it's got bigger and bigger and bigger. Came out a beautiful woman with a boy in her hand. Thank you for your gift. The dragon god, Ryujin-sama, is very pleased and he would like to give you a reward. This is Snotty Boy. He can make your wish come true. However, just one thing, you must feed him shrimp paste every day. And with that, she went back into water, leaving Snotty Boy behind with his big green snot coming out from his nose. Oh, thought the old man. So he carried him a bit far away from him so he wouldn't get that green snot on him and came back home, or rather a shack. It was very small and old place. And then he looked for his zabuton, which is a square mat to sit on, but his was so old and being sat on so many times, it was like this thin. But he found it, so he put it on tatami mat, and he put Snotty Boy on top of it. And then he thought, I want to get shrimp paste, but I don't have any money. So the old man, he went to Snotty Boy and said, Snotty Boy, see, I want to get you shrimp paste, but I don't have any money. Do you think you can give me some money? And then the Snotty Boy went 3 times, and the money appeared. The old man grabbed the money and he ran to the village and he got this, that, and this, that, whatever he wanted. And he had a fabulous dinner. The next day, old man went to Snotty Boy and he said, oh, Snotty Boy, you see this house? It's a bit small and old. Do you think you can get me a nice new house? And then the Snotty Boy went, you can join me if you want, but no real one, please. So ready? 3 times. The house turned into a gorgeous mansion. The following day, the old man went to Snotty Boy again. And then he said, oh, Snotty Boy, see this house, what you got me, it's wonderful, but it's a bit too big for me to look after it by myself. So do you think you can get me some servants and maybe a chef? And Snotty Boy went, ready, 3 times. And the servant and chef appeared. So from then on, it was Snotty Boy this, Snotty Boy that. And in no time, old man had everything he needed. And his lifestyle changed as he got richer. People wanted to be his friend, and he was called here and there. But no matter how far away he was or how busy he was, he had to come home to feed Snotty Boy. He tried to have his servants do the job, but Snotty Boy was not having any of it. So this day he came home and I was feeding Snotty Boy. Oh, here you go. I'm feeling only if I don't have to do this. Now, few days later, the old man went to Snotty Boy and he said, Snotty Boy, you see what you got me here is really nice, but I don't really need your service anymore. Maybe you can go back to where you came from. Snotty Boy looked so sad, but he stood up and he walked out the door. Oh, thank goodness, thought the old man. But then next second, biggest snot sound ever. Everything went back the way it was. The old man was sitting inside his hut on top of his old zabuton. Oh, what have I done? He ran outside and looked for Snotty Boy, Snotty Boy, Snotty Boy. but Snotty Boy was nowhere to be seen. So after all, Old Man's life didn't change that much. And that was the story of Snotty Boy. Oshimai, the end. So we'll continue on here. My question is, I want you to think, when you hear sushi, what comes into your mind? I have been teaching children about Japan like I'm doing it to you. And lots of them said sushi equals fish. And the answer is wrong. See, sushi is made with sushi rice. It's white, short grain rice, preferably made in Japan. And ingredients are vinegar, rice vinegar, and sugar, and salt. So anything that is made with this sushi rice is actually sushi. And I'll show you some examples. So see, these are all sushis. So over here in the middle, you can see the typical fish sushi. We love it too, but they're all different type. Over down here underneath the fish sushi is actually roast beef sushi. And over here, it's deep fried tofu cooked with soy sauce and sugar. It's nice. And then sushi is inside. On the left side here is a bowl sushi. It's a nice appetizer if you're having party. Up here is hosomaki. It's a thin sushi. See, it doesn't have to be fish at all. This is a thick sushi, futomaki. This is chirashi sushi. It's sushi that we have for celebrations. Over here on the right top is a cake sushi. That's getting popular these days. And down here is a temaki sushi. It's a roll it yourself sushi. And there are many, many more like character sushis and all sorts. But see, sushi does not have to be fish. And that's what I wanted you to know. Next. However, Japanese people do love fish. And we have a huge market called Toyosu Fish Market. And in this fish market, 20,000 tons of marine products is dealt with every day. And that is a lot. So Japanese people do like fish. And we have good eyes to find good fish. We see their eyes and we can tell whether it's eatable or good taste or not. Unfortunately, where I live in Northern Ireland, people are not super keen on fish. So when I go to supermarket, I wonder, how many days have you been dead on that counter? So it's too bad about that. But it's a nice place, Northern Ireland. Next. So another story time. Remember, Japanese folk tales start with Mugashi Mukashi. So, Mugashi Mukashi. There was a young man. He was a fisherman. His name was Urashima Taro. Taro Urashima. One day he had a fishing rod and was on his way to his boat to set out into the ocean. And he was walking on the beach and then he heard a commotion. Children were gathering up in the sandy beach and up to something. And curious, Taro went over and looked from between children, and there in the middle was a little turtle. Kochi mukeyo! Look over here! And they were bullying it. Kura! Do not bully small creatures. The children scattered away. And Taro, he went over and gently picked up that little turtle and took him to the edge of the water and let it set off and say, don't get caught again. A few days later, Taro was on his way to his boat as usual, and then he encountered a turtle again. But this time, this turtle was enormous. It was huge. And then turtle spoke human words. Urashima Taro-san, Mr. Urashima, thank you so much for helping my little boy. My master would like to thank you as well. Please hop on my back and I will take you underwater. Taro was surprised, but he was curious as well. He decided to go along with the turtle. So he hopped on the back of the turtle and went underwater. Now, in normal circumstances, if you go underwater, can you see well? Not really. You need a goggle or something, right? And then can you breathe in underwater? Not really. But for some reason, Taro was fine. He could see very clearly underwater and he was able to breathe. And he looked up and he can see the surface of the ocean shimmering like diamonds. It was beautiful. And then he looked underneath him and there were forests of coral, orange, pink, and red, beautiful. Oh, and there was some fish, that orange and white. What do you call it? There was a Nemo, the clownfish, and over on the other side, oh, something big and red, and it's walking sideways with a big claws. What do you think that is? I think that's crab, big one too. And then, far away, he saw this mass number of bluefish moving together like a big ball and making shapes. The underwater world was beautiful. Taro was enjoying the journey and then soon came to massive Ryugu Castle underwater, and it was magnificent. Inside, waiting was Princess. Oh, Mr. Urashima Taro-san, thank you so much for saving my turtle. I am Otohime, Princess Oto. Please enjoy your stay in Ryugu Castle as long as you wish. And the banquet, the party started. And Taro tasted the food and drink. So good. And then the entertainment with a flounder, it's a flat fish, and then squids. Oh, it was so much fun. Taro was having a fantastic time. And the time went by very quickly. And before he knew it, 3 years has passed. And one day, Taro thought of his mother and father, and he wanted to go back home. So he went to Otohime and told her about it. Oh, please don't go, she asked, but she could not change his mind. So what she did was she gave him a box called tamatebako. It's a beautiful decorative box with a string on top. When she was giving it to him, she said, "This is tamatebako. If you hold on to this, you can come back to Ryugu Castle. But no matter what, do not open it in the humans' world." Taro agreed and he took the box and he got onto the turtle and went back home. Now, when he was walking from the beach, he realized the landscape looks a bit different. And he went into the village and the houses looks different and people, he did not recognize anybody. And then he went to his house, or rather where his house was, because all was left was ruin, rocks, grass growing. The house didn't even hold the shape of as a house. And then the old man walked by and Taro said, "Excuse me, do you know what happened to this house?" Oh, that house. Well, as long as I can remember, nobody lived in it. Taro went to old graveyard, and then there he found his father and mother's tombstone. And then beside it was his tombstone. But the strange thing is, his tombstone had like moths growing and the words was hard to read. It was so old. Underwater world, it was only 3 years. But in human world, 300 years has passed. Distraught, upset, Taro walked to the beach. And because he was not clear of his mind with being so upset, he wasn't thinking, and he opened the box and came the white smoke and engulfed him and made Taro's hair white, wrinkles all over him. Taro became a very, very old man. Now, no one really knows what happened to Taro afterwards. Some people say, well, he is still living in the area, longing for Ryugu Castle and also his old life to this day. Oshimai. And that was the story of Urashima Taro. Now, let's see here. Now, I have shown you some of the picture of the city life. Japanese city life is great if you want to do shopping. It doesn't have to be expensive shop. Even a 100 yen shop would have a great quality items. It's really good place to buy things as well as food. We have very, very high standard food. So city is nice, but also countryside is breathtakingly beautiful. And if you ever have a chance to go to Japan in the future, I hope you will take time to look at the countryside of our land. And see over here, we got Shirakawago. This house is made with no nails at all, and they still live in old ways. It's a very popular tourist resort. And as mentioned, underneath it is a mountain with different leaf colors. And then beside at the bottom is a rice field. It's beautiful. And up top right is we got Japanese Alps. We have lots of beautiful tall mountains. Now, speaking of tall mountains, another story. Well, in the mountain in olden day in folktale, Oni lived there. Oni is often translated as a devil, but it's actually more mixed with devil with Orga. Do you know what Orga is? Have you seen Shrek, the movie? That's Orga. So imagine it's combined with that. So what it looks like is it looks like this. Oni usually have 1 or 2 horns, bushy hair. The colors could vary, but red or blue is quite common, and they got fangs growing. And body wise, normally they're huge like Orga, like Shrek, and they wear tiger skin pants. Maybe they want to show off they're strong, and they hold this weapon called kanabo. It's like a big baseball bat, but it's made with iron and with its sharp studs. Very dangerous weapon with the power of Oni. And my next story is related to this Oni. So, Japanese story start with Mugashi Mukashi. Mugashi Mukashi. Long time ago, there was an elderly couple. They so wanted to have their own child, and they prayed and prayed and prayed to God every day. And one day their wish came true. They were blessed with a beautiful baby boy. But just one thing was, he was very, very, very small. But the couple, they didn't mind. They were so happy. They named the boy Isumboshi, an inch boy. And they cared for him and gave him so much love. And Isumboshi grew up to be a nice man. Just a bit short. One day, Isumboshi sat across from his parents and said, Father, Mother, I would like to go to the city and work for the Lord, for the good of the people. Now, parents, they were sad to see him go, but at the same time, very proud of him. So, the father, he got a wooden bowl as a boat. And do you know what this is? Yes, it's chopstick. But he gave one chopstick as an oar. And the mother gave him a needle as his sword. And they set him off to the river. Oh, the journey to the city was adventurous. See, there was terrible, terrible storm. Well, actually, it was just a bit of a strong wind and rain, but for Isamboshi, it was like storm. And then, do you know fish called carp? They got this big mouth and they wanted to eat Isamboshi, so he actually did have to fight with them with his needle sword. And he finally got to the city. And he went up the bridge and came to this huge main road of the city. And he stopped passerby. Excuse me, excuse me. Huh? Oh, you are so small. Hello, konnichiwa. Would you please tell me where is the biggest house in this city? Oh, biggest house, you say? I know. The Lord Sanjo's house, that is the biggest. Well, if you keep on continue this big road, you will get there. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you very much. So that's what Isumboshi did. He walked and walked and walked and walked all the way to the end of the road. My goodness, the Lord Sanjo's house was huge. As far as Isumboshi can see, it's all Lord Sanjo's house's wall. And in front of him was this solid wood door with a ferocious guard guarding it. Kanamo! Excuse me! Excuse me! Huh? I thought I heard something. Huh. Kanamo! Excuse me, I'm down here. Huh? Oh, you are so tiny. Konnichiwa. Hello. I came here to work for Lord Sanjo. Oh, I'll go and ask. And Isumboshi was brought in front of the Lord Sanjo. You are awfully small, but looks like a clever, fine young man. I will have you work for my daughter, Princess Sanjo then. And from that day, Isumboshi became a servant for Princess Sanjo. And Princess Sanjo, she was beautiful and she was also kind. She liked Isumboshi straight away and she taught him how to read and write, and Isumboshi learned it in no time. One day, Princess Sanjo had to pay a visit to Kiyomiz Temple. And on the way back, who goes there? And came out a big red oni with kanabo in his hand. Oh, there goes pretty princess. I shall have you as my wife. And he only started to walk towards princess. Save the princess! The guards, they went to Oni. They charged at him. But Oni, whoosh, whoosh, one blow, they were blown away side to side and nobody was left. Now come with the princess. And then he heard the voice, don't touch princess. Huh? Huh? Where is this sound coming from? And then Oni saw a little Isenboshi on Princess Sanjo's shoulder. Huh, you are so tiny. What can you do? Oni was laughing so hard, his mouth was wide open, and Isenboshi jumped right in. Oh, well, that saved the trouble. No, no, princess. And then, Oni started to roll in pain. Yeah, no, you want more? It was Isenboshi. He was poking Oni with his needle sword from inside. Yeah, no. I'm sorry, ごめんなさい. Please come out, please come out. So finally, Isenboshi jumped out from Oni's mouth, and Oni ran as fast as he could. And because Oni was in such a hurry, he dropped a valuable thing. It was a decorative mallet, like a hammer. And it's called Uchide no Kozuchi. And it was magical, and Princess Sanjo knew about it. Isenboshi, this is Uchide no Kozuchi. It can make your wish come true. Princess Sanjo, in that case, please make me bigger. I will. So Princess Sanjo held up Uchide no Kozuchi and went, Okiku, okiku, okiku nare. Get bigger and bigger and bigger. And Isenboshi got taller, and became a fine young man. Very handsome one, if I may add. And what do you think has happened next? Yes, Isenboshi and Princess Sanjo got married. And Isenboshi called his parents to the city, and all of them lived happily ever after. Oshimai. And that was a story of Isenboshi. And that is all from me, unless asked otherwise. So, arigato. Thank you very much for having me.
It was lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank
Now,
you.
children, have you been enjoying the stories? Now you know what you're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to, practice. You can go back to the same video, listen to the story again, and tell the story in your own words to your friends, to your family,
Yes.
and
definitely. Oh, sorry. No, that would make me very happy. Please do share.
Yes, that would be wonderful. And what you can also do is you can also share this video, right? You can share this video on Facebook, on WhatsApp with friends, with family, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel or to like the page so that you keep getting all these updates. Now we'll have the question and answer session. So if you've asked questions earlier, please repeat your questions now, okay? So that I will ask the questions to Masako and she can respond to you.
Should I stop sharing now, Sujit? Or
yeah, I have removed it anyway, but you can stop sharing.
Stop sharing, okay.
Okay. So let's see. Ayan is asking, do they have robots in Japan?
Yes, they do actually, Anya. That's one of the technology. Nowadays they have actually a really big robot that moves called Gundam. Was an animation called Gundam, and they made this massive life-size Gundam that moves as well. But also they made a robot that works for helping elderly people, like lifting people up as well. So robots is it's the technology is really good. But I believe India is really good with that kind of technology too. So it's good that technology is being used for good things.
Okay, let's see. Ahan is saying we enjoyed a lot. I will share the video in my talks. Thank you very much, Ahan. Keep doing that. Okay, Sasmita is asking, what is the time now in Japan?
Well,
What would
Japan
be the
over here is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It would be 12 midnight now.
or 1 p.m. I think.
1 p.m. It's 8 hours difference from us. So 12:15, I think, is
Or
what.
1:15. 1:15
Is it
on
one?
internet. Yeah. But you know, children, Masako is right now in Ireland. She's right now
Yes.
based in Ireland after marriage. So
Oh,
what is the
oh,
time for you right now? It's 4
for
o'clock, right?
for me now it's 4:15
4:15. Yeah.
in the afternoon.
Yes. Okay. Let's see. So there's a question here from Tanishka about your favorite anime.
My favorite anime is at the moment Demon Slayer. I love that. I
I
wa-
can see a
actually
lot of discussion about Demon Slayer.
I already watched it to the end. I have a manga to the end. So I'm threatening my daughter if she is not nice to me, I'm gonna tell her what happens next.
Ah. So there's a question about Ninja Hattori.
Oh
Swarna
yeah.
Prabha is asking.
Who's
Ninja
it?
Hattori is very popular in India
Oh, is he? Well, is he popular as an in real person or as in a character?
as a character.
As a character. So, and that's from the animation or the movie? Animation.
Animation, I guess. Yeah.
That's what, yes. But this, I haven't really watched the Ninja Hattori one too much, but I have watched Naruto one. And if you come to Japan, there's a ninja world that you can actually go and enjoy being ninja yourself. So if you like ninja, recommended.
So Ambarish is asking if there are ninjas in Japan.
Everybody likes it. They're supposed to be ancestor of the ninjas, and there's a village that was used to be ninjas village. So I believe they are ancestors. I don't know how serious they are following their traditions, but
Mhm.
yes. But there are ninjas who are working as ninja for tourism as well. If that.
Okay. So Dubai Hansda is asking if Sakura is equal to cherry blossoms.
Yes, it is Dubai. It is cherry blossom sakura.
Okay. I think you've already talked about it, but maybe you can just repeat it. Swastik's question about what type of food Japanese people eat.
Japanese. Well, see, Japanese eats all sorts. We do like Japanese food, but we also like international food and like Indian food or Chinese food or Korean foods or Western food. And Japan has so many restaurants as well. Um, the quality is very high. You might have heard, but Olympians who came to Japan were very, very impressed with the level of how good of the taste it is. Japanese people, important thing is not only taste but presentation. So we enjoy food with our eyes as well. So overall, it's a wonderful experience to dine and eat in Japan.
Ah. So a popular question seems to be, what is your favorite food? Samiksha is asking.
Oh,
Jignesh
I
is
have
also
to say,
asking.
I think because it's hard for me to get here in Northern Ireland, I do enjoy good quality raw fish because I can't get it here. So when I go back to Japan, I do eat awful lot of them. It does taste good.
Okay. Um, let's see what other questions. Someone is asking if this means arigato asaimasu. Is that thank you
Oh,
so much in Japanese?
is that manaswani? That's very close, but it's actually arigato gozaimasu. So GOZAIMASO. So arigato gozaimasu is thank you very much. It's a polite way to say thank you. You can just say arigato, that means thank you. Arigato gozaimasu means thank you very much. And when we greet or say thank you, we tend to bow to show respect to the person. I just naturally was doing it there. I noticed myself doing. Okay.
Okay. So here is a question about whether you have any pets.
Yes, we have a Jack Russell and we got a cat. They're really good friends. And my father-in-law here in Northern Ireland also is a sheep farmer. And sometimes when the lambing season, baby comes out, mommy die or can't look after. So we look after baby lamb, give the bottle, and they follow after you. So they're very cute. So we occasionally have pet lamb as well.
Okay. So Swarna Prabha is asking about your favorite animal.
My favorite animal. That's a difficult for me. But when I was young, maybe not now, but when I was young, I watched this movie called The Born Free. It was about
Mhm.
the wild lion and encounter with human. And I loved that movie and I always wanted to go to Kenya and I always wanted to have lion. I nearly worked at safari park because I loved lions so much. But things I tuned into more children, which are like lions, little wild things, and became kindergarten teacher instead of looking after lions.
Okay. So Lakshmi is asking about old buildings of Japan.
Yes, all buildings of Japan. Well, it's I guess some parts of Japan unfortunately has been bombed during the war. So we have lost a lot of valuable buildings during that time. So it has to come from the area where it has never been bombed. And the famous area is Kyoto City, which is more in the center of Japan. And it's an ancient city have a lot of old temple, beautiful, beautiful buildings there. So if you're interested in old buildings, Kyoto would be highly recommended.
Okay. So there's more questions on Japanese anime. Snigdha is asking, for those who are not initiated, which ones would you recommend?
Well, like I said, I love Demon Slayer, but no, the Death Note and Bleach are good. You must like the scary stuff, well, same as me. But no, those are all good. I think recommended as well. But there are so many, it's hard to choose. But I did like Tokyo Ghoul, but that might be too gory for little people. So maybe not for little people, but maybe for older people.
Okay. So there is this question about your national anthem.
Yes.
Would you like to sing it a bit
Sure.
or?
Okay. Ready? 君が代は千代にや千代にさざれ石の That's our national anthem.
Nice, nice, nice. I could see the passion with which you were singing. Um, Purvi is asking about your favorite color and favorite song. So, is
My
there
favorite
particular favorite
color,
song?
my favorite color is I love emerald green or turquoise blue. Those are my favorite colors. Song, oh, that's so hard to choose. But I do like Mariah Carey's "I Will Always Love You." That's my karaoke special.
Ah, a couple of lines, please.
Oh God, you're pushing it. Okay.
Huh.
If I should stay, I will only be in your way. So I'll go, but I know I'll think of you every step of the way. And I will always love you. I will always love you. Why am
Lovely,
I
lovely,
doing
lovely.
karaoke here?
So, Suryansh is asking, how do Japanese learn so many kanji words?
Oh, Suryashu. That's it. It's hell. Just keep on practicing. Keep on practicing. I am not good at it, but you just have to keep at it. It's not easy. It's very difficult.
Hmm. So, Tanisha is asking about your favorite game.
I think my favorite game is Uno. My family plays Uno together. The children are not allowed to do any computer things. So that's
Hmm. Okay. Bhaibashwata is asking about rules in Japanese schools. I don't know if you have compared Japanese schools and Indian schools,
Well,
but
actually, as I mentioned, I do cultural work with children here, and one of the thing I mentioned is in Japan, from primary school to junior high school, children divided into different groups, and each group have different tasks every week. Some goes to the library, in charge of library, some in charge of lunch. You children, 5 or 6 of them will go to kitchen, bring the food back to their room, and they're in charge of serving everyone and cleaning it afterwards. Another big thing in Japan is at the end of the day, everyone moves the table and chairs to the back, and children in charge will then clean the room themselves. And they even clean the toilets and turns. So there's no janitors cleaning people in Japan for in the cleaning classrooms. They don't need it. But I think that's the reason why Japan is very, very clean. There's no littering, very rare. So lots of people who comes to Japan always is amazed on how clean our country is. And I think that starts from the very young age, learned, not to dirty because you have to clean it yourself.
hmm, yeah, very interesting. We have big debates on that here. Uh, so, Manaswini is asking about your favorite place in Japan
Oh, my
and
favorite
important to
place.
business.
I think I'm from Tokyo, but our family had a holiday house in a prefecture called Yamanashi, and it's up in the mountain, and the scenery from there is beautiful. My parents now live there; they retired there, so that's where I would go back when I'm in Japan. So just that area, the view of the mountaineers and looking down, and it's beautiful side. That's my favorite place.
Okay. Now, Udyati, favorite color she's already talked about, but your favorite storybook, maybe you can say.
Oh, favorite storybook. I guess I do like Harry Potter. None of my family members I I did enjoy Harry Potter. I like that um mythical, magical kind of stories.
Hmm. Okay. Well, we'll just end with the last couple of questions. Vidyanshu is again asking, is Doraemon and Shinchan in Japan?
Yes, Doraemon and Shin-chan is Japanese animation. Indeed, indeed.
Uh, ah. So I think we will end there. Maybe, well, last interesting question Sahil is asking about street food in Japan.
Street food in Japan. There's a there are really many, but one of the thing I like is called okonomiyaki, which is a savory pancake, and you put the cabbage, and there's different way of making, but mainly cabbage, egg powder, dashi, which is fish sauce, and then you make it to like a pancake, and you put the yummy sauce and mayonnaise on top, and it's very nice.
Ah. So, would you like to say something to the children before we
Yeah.
end the show? Yes.
So thank you very much for having me, and I hope you enjoyed it. And hopefully someday you can come and visit Japan or Northern Ireland and enjoy the culture there. So before any place you go, before you go, if you learn thank you and hello, that will go far away and people will appreciate you trying to learn language. So that's my recommendation. But thank
So,
you for
why don't you say hello and thank you once again in
okay.
Japanese?
Hello is konnichiwa and
Konnichiwa,
konnichiwa and thank you is arigato. Arigato.
arigato,
Mm.
arigato.
So thank you.
Arigato, Masako, arigato.
Thank you.
So, till we meet again, now, children will be back next Saturday when we travel to another country. Okay? And this is another very interesting country that we'll be traveling to next Saturday with another fascinating storyteller. But till then, stay safe and enjoy and keep watching this video once again. Bye.
Bye.